Good afternoon, boys and girls. We are back today with a math lesson. It is about 1 o'clock, and I hope if you haven't come to school to get your packet that you come really soon and you can get started working on that at home. Don't forget your spelling words, and don't forget your Read Everyday folder, and don't forget your work. Even though school is closed, you still have to work at home. Miss Brooke is at school in our classroom today, and I have a lesson about tens and ones, and I want to share it with you. How do you represent a teen number? What do you do to represent a teen number? Well, a teen number has two digits. There is a tens place and a ones place when you represent a teen number. The tens place represents the number 10. The ones place represents the group of ones. If we were at school today, we would have had a chance to dig in our math boxes and use our math manipulatives. And I'm so sad that we did not get a chance to do that today. In your math box, you have rods. This is a 10 rod. We call it a 10 rod because you can see the little bitty lines if you look real close. There are 10 blocks in this one rod. So we say 10 for this rod. These are units. These are ones. So when you count a number, you use the tens place to say 10, and you use the units to say 1. So how do you represent a number in the teens? Well, you need two digits. Digits are numbers. This is the tens place, and this is the ones place. Both of those digits have a value. The value of the tens place is a 10. The value of the ones place in this number is 3. Let's look at this. This is our tens place. This is our ones place. Then I used my rod and my units to draw an illustration. 10, 11, 12, 13. Let's count that together. 10, 11, 12, 13. You see 1 10 and you see 3 ones. And the total number is 13. I can represent that using a number bond because there's two parts right here. There are. This is a part and this is a part. And what do I know about parts? They add up to a whole. They do. So I'm going to draw my parts at the bottom first. What do you think my first part is? It's a 10. And what is my second part? It's a 3. So my number bond should look like this. And if you want to get out a piece of paper and pencil and draw this with me, you can. So let's do our parts, 10 and 3. What goes in the hole at the top? The total. The total is the number 13. The number 13 could be represented with 13 circles, but it's much better represented with a group of 10 and 3 ones. Yes, you would want to do that. It's much faster and it's a much better representation than 13 circles. This is also a representation of the number 13. So how can you represent the number 13? Can you use a 10 rod and 3 ones? Absolutely. Can you use a number bond and put the number 13 at the top and 10 and 3 at the bottom in the parts? Absolutely. Could you use an equation? Absolutely. Some of you might have already been brainstorming that idea. 10 plus 3 equals 13 is the same as saying 10 and 3 are the parts and 13 is the whole. Why did I put the number 10 here? Why didn't I put a number 1? Because this is a 1 and a 3. But the value of this is 10. Every time you count this, you will say 10. Every time you count this, you will say 1. So the value of the tens place in the number 13 is 10. And the value of the ones place in the number 13 is 3. Let's look at this again. A 10 and 3 ones make up the number 13. In our number bond, you could use a 10 and a 3 as the parts and a 13 as the whole. You could also use an equation, 10 plus 3 equals 13. Those are ways to represent a two-digit number. Some people call them numbers in the teens. Now, when we do math board and we count our straws, the numbers 0 through 9 must go in the ones place. They do not have enough value to go in the tens place. We can't move them until there is enough to make a 10. Now, let's do another number. I'm going to put the number 10 and the number 5 in my parts. And part, whole, they add up. When you have two parts, the number at the top must be greater than the two parts. So, my numbers add up to the number 15. 15 is the whole. It's the total. It's the total amount. So what would I do? I would draw a 10 and 5 ones. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This is my representation of the number 15 with tens and ones. The number bond shows 10 is one part and 5 is the other. The number 15 is represented with a 1 in the tens place and a 5 in the ones place. It can also be represented with the equation 10 plus 5 equals 15. Now, let's look at the number 13 and the number 15. We have 13 and 15. Both of these numbers are numbers in the teens. Both of them have a 1 in the tens place. If you are looking at two numbers and the tens place has the same value, and this has the same value, a 10 and a 10 are the same value, the tens place will not help you determine greater than, less than, or equal to if they're the same. You will have to move on to the ones place. So I'm just going to draw this right here so you can see. Hopefully you can see this. 10, 11, 12, 13. Over here, I have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I think that gives us a good representation of which number is greater because one side has more blocks than the other. But you can also look at the digits. This side has a 3 in the ones place, and this side has a 5 in the ones place. And we know 5 is greater than 3. So they're not the same number. Even though they have the same digit in the tens place, the ones place determines their value, what they're worth. Let's do our symbol. And how would we read that? 13 is less than 15. Because 13, you can see, only has a 3 in the ones place, and 15 has a 5 in the ones place. And you can tell just by the amount of blocks that 13 does not have the same amount as 15. I hope you enjoyed our little lesson today about numbers in the teens. I hope you understand the tens place and the ones place. I hope you understand that you can represent it with a number bond and an equation, and you can also represent it with a picture using tens and ones. They will also be called rods and units. Work hard, get some rest, be thankful for your family, make memories, read books, play games, stay safe, be well. I miss you. Goodbye.